Good evening, this is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you from Istanbul, Turkey on April 26, 2024. I'm standing in front of the Tugra Hotel in central Istanbul. This hotel over the last week or two has served as the effective headquarters of the Freedom Flotilla coalition to Gaza. And we have been meeting here regularly. Every night at 7 p.m. there has been an organizational meeting at which the various participants, and there are hundreds of them at this stage, waiting to board these vessels, hear from the organizers about the status of their efforts to secure the departure of the flotilla from Turkish waters. As I've previously reported, there were several delays incurred in the departure of these vessels as a result of various requirements and impediments imposed by the Turkish government. The details of those are not important at this stage. But the long and the short of it is that the vessels were supposed to leave on April 21st. They were delayed in order to satisfy the Turkish government until the 24th of April. Then there was another delay to the 25th, and then they were supposed to depart today. However, at the 11th hour last night, we learned at our 7 p.m. meeting that the government of Israel had issued a demand or a request to the government of Guinea-Bissau to intervene. And just by way of background, the flotilla consists of 3 vessels. One is a cargo ship. 2 of the other ships, which are sizable, were to carry hundreds of activists, all humanitarian, of course. And those 2 vessels have been flagged by Guinea-Bissau. So the demand that was made by the Israeli government to the government of Guinea-Bissau yesterday was that it withdraw its flag from those 2 vessels, which would effectively, at least for the time being, strand the flotilla in Turkish waters where they are currently docked. We were told last night that the demand of Israel had precipitated a demand by the government of Guinea-Bissau to inspect the vessels. A team of 3 inspectors, one of whom for some reason was brought in from outside of Turkey, were given access to the boats freely and began their inspections yesterday. And just so you know, the boats had been thoroughly inspected already, and the organizers were adamant that they more than satisfied both national requirements of Turkey and international law. But nonetheless, this being the nature of the game, they were given access, the inspectors, on behalf of Guinea-Bissau. And when we dispersed last night, we were wondering how long this inspection was going to take and what the outcome of all of it would be. Well, we just emerged from our 7 p.m. meeting today, Friday, April 26th, and learned to our great disappointment that the government of Guinea-Bissau has withdrawn the flags from the 2 of the 3 vessels which were operating under its jurisdiction. Before I continue with more background and commentary on this latest development, I'm going to let you hear from the organizers themselves about what transpired today. First, you're going to hear from retired U.S. Army Colonel Ann Wright, and then you're going to hear from a gentleman by the name, he's a Turkish national, of Ismail Songur, of the Mavi Marmara Association. By way of background, the Mavi Marmara, as you will know if you've been watching my reports or followed the Freedom Flotilla's activities over the years, was the lead vessel of a large flotilla of 6 vessels that attempted to break the inhumane blockade of Gaza in 2010. The Mavi Marmara was boarded by Israeli commandos who murdered in cold blood 10 humanitarian activists, including the father of Ismail Songur. So here's what they had to say this evening, and after you've heard from them, I'll have more to say about this subject.
It is a terrible thing for us that the two of the ships have been withdrawn. Ismail will give you some more of the gist of it, but one of the issues was having to sign a declaration that the ship would not be going to Gaza. So that just shows the huge influence that the state of Israel is having on this. Something that we predicted, we knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know it would happen this way. This is the first time, to my knowledge, we've had flags that have been withdrawn. Sometimes it's not easy to get them, but this one withdrawn. So I know the whole team that we have here, and we've not just got Ismail, but we've got other members of the Marvi Marmara team that are just as dejected and more dejected because they've been spending months of their lives to get boats, to get them ready. The boats are ready, all is ready. So with our hearts, we say we're with, of course, we will stay with you. But right now, it's really tough.
First of all, I would like to thank all of you to be part of this important mission. Since 2 days, you know, the inspectors came from the Guinea-Bissau, and they were inspecting the ships, and they were trying to find the problems. But unfortunately, they couldn't find any problems. They couldn't find any guns. They couldn't find any, you know, danger items. They couldn't find any problem in the machines. They couldn't find any single problem in the paints. They couldn't find any problem in the sign letters or certificates. While inspectors in the ship, we have received a mail from the country, from the Guinea-Bissau, saying that we have the letter and saying that you are not going to Gaza. You have to send us this letter and you have only 2 hours, and also you have to give us a letter confirmation from the destination country. The destination country is the Gaza. In the system, the Gaza port does not exist yet, and they are asking the confirmation letter from the destination port and asking us approve a letter we are not going to Gaza. So it's very clear for us right now, we are not fighting against the Zionism, we are also fighting against their slaves. We respect international law, but they will learn to respect the human rights. So I have 2 important requests to you. Number 1, if you have any political relation in your country, if you have any good connection with the port authorities, with anyone who are related with the flag offices, try to find a flag for this flotilla, because this is yours, not mine. Secondly, try to increase your voice, and we are gonna, you know, make huge demonstration tomorrow, but at least, we will be sure that everyone here will be agree with us. This process will take little time.
So in consultation with all of the partners of the Flotilla Coalition and our key partner right here in Istanbul, we have decided that it is best for us to say to you, we will not be able to get the certificates in the next days. And we are recommending that you sadly return home. I know, but just as soon as we can get everything arranged so that we know that a return will work, the flag that's going to work and a port that's going to work, then of course you all are the number 1 on the list that will be contacted. And we know everyone is so upset, so disappointed, so angry that we don't want you to leave tomorrow unless you really need to. We want you to stay tomorrow because we're going to have a big demonstration where we will have all sorts of materials that show exactly the Guinea-Bissau turning on us. And we also want to have a demonstration not at the Solomet area, but we want to be able to walk down to the bridges that go across the Bosphorus with our big signs to show how disappointed we are and let the people of Istanbul know what is happening.
Yeah. And finally, I really appreciate and I'm honored to meet all of you. But just wanna say one simple thing. Never lost your hope. The Gazans are struggling since 7 months, but they never lost their hope. The Palestinians are struggling since 75 years, but they never lost their hope. So we are not going to lose our hopes. We will go to Gaza. We will go to Gaza. We will go to Gaza.
So there you have it in a nutshell. Due to the actions of the government of Guinea-Bissau, 2 of the 3 vessels comprising the Freedom Flotilla, which are carrying some 5,000 tons of humanitarian aid, are effectively stranded for the time being in Turkish waters. Now, the background of this entire affair is as troubling as it is interesting. And I refer specifically to a meeting last month that the Guinea-Bissauan president, Umbalau, had in Israel with Israel's president, Isaac Herzog. After that meeting, Israel's president commended Umbalau, the president of Guinea-Bissau, as a true friend of Israel. That's the way he described him, and specifically praised positions that Umbalau's government had taken in the African Union that were to Israel's liking. And Herzog took the opportunity to take a swipe at other governments that had taken positions that were supportive of the Palestinian people. Now, it's critical to understand that Guinea-Bissau is a party to the Genocide Convention. In fact, it acceded to the Genocide Convention in 2013. And Article 1 of the Genocide Convention imposes an obligation on all parties to prevent genocide when there is a material risk of genocide occurring. This means that they must take active measures to stop genocide, and they don't have to wait for a definitive determination that genocide is happening. There only has to be a material risk that it's happening. And as a result of the decision of the International Court of Justice on January 26th of this year, in which 15 of 17 judges, including every single judge from a Western state, the US judge, the German judge, the British judge, the French judge, that it was plausible that Israel was committing genocide, there is no doubt, and was no doubt at the time that Umbalau went to Israel in March of this year, that there was a material risk of genocide occurring in Gaza. And what did Umbalau do today? Not only did he fail to take active measures to prevent genocide, he took active measures to facilitate it. By withdrawing the flag of his country from these 2 vessels, he has impeded the delivery of 5,000 tons of humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza when they are being obliterated and starved to death. This is a flagrant and frontal assault on Guinea-Bissau's obligations under the Genocide Convention. It's as simple as that. Now, as you've heard, the organizers will not give up. They're going to press forward. They're exploring a number of other options. None of them will be easy to accomplish, at least in the near term. I, for my part, will be here tomorrow for the protest they have called for at 3 p.m., where the participants of the flotilla, those who have been able to remain beyond this evening, will express their indignation publicly at what Guinea-Bissau has done. Beyond that, if I'm afforded the opportunity to go on this mission to Gaza, I will do so. And I know that there are hundreds of other activists out there who are anxious to join me. If ever there was a moment to answer the call of the Palestinian people, this is that moment. And before I sign off, I'd like you to hear from Wendy Goldsmith, who is a Canadian activist and a member of the Participants Committee. After the participants this evening were given the disappointing news, she had a few words to share with them, and I'd like to close out by hearing from her. For now, this is Dimitri Lascaris reporting from Istanbul, Turkey on April 26, 2024.
Wendy wants to say something, please.
On behalf of the Participants Committee, I want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you have given to this effort, to this mission. I've had the honor and privilege of meeting all of you and spending time with you, learning about all of your skills, your abilities, your wisdom, your resources, and your connections. And I really encourage you to maintain those connections. We've built affinity groups. There's no reason those have to stop. We can still keep working together. We have built something beautiful here. We have done very important work. We have done very important work together. And together we will sail again.
Yay.